Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good evening. This is your host for this day, Sindhu Sinwar. I hope you all are fine, doing good. As you know, that in this topic and in this show, we talk about how re-imaging education is there and how we are, going forward with all this online learning and how we're coping up with it and trying to find out better and, more adaptable solutions for online learning. Today, I have with me a very special guest, Ms. Shireen Karamally. Ms. Shireen Karamally is right now working at Beaconhouse as a principal for Defense Campus, as well as she's the cluster convener of the Beaconhouse Cluster 24. She's been in the field for 22 years. She has worked as a teacher, career counselor, senior mistress, leadership trainer, IVDP administrator, and currently a principal of Beaconhouse Defense Campus. She has received Teachers Excellence Award and the Leadership Excellence Award at the KFC Teachers Convention. She was the part of City School team that was selected to train over 300 heads of Sindh government schools. She has conducted innumerable workshops for teachers and heads in and outside of the school. She was part of the CIE Advisory Council for 4 years. She has graduated in Education, Honours BA, PGDC from University of Glasgow, Scotland. She's a Master's Trainers course, GDC, experience over 24 years. I present to you Miss Shireen Karamally. Miss, how are you?
Fine, thank you, Sundar. My God, that was quite something. I'm feeling so proud of myself hearing from another person. So, and I've been watching your shows. You know, you are really amazing, and you're doing a good job connecting people. So, thank you for having me over.
Oh,
I'm really,
that's so
really
sweet.
happy.
That's so sweet, ma'am. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. The appreciation always builds me up, and it's like a key that builds everybody up. You have achieved so much. So us being a part of interviewing such people is a big honor for all of us. Ma'am, tell me, how has online learning been with you? Because I this is the reason why I talk about in my show that online learning was a complete new challenge for all the educators, for all the educationists. So you being in the middle school, how do you adapt it? How did you?
Okay. First of all, I'm passionate about this profession. I'm passionate about learning. So you'll find me reading medicine labels, and you'll find me reading anything, any cosmetic little labels, and you'll find me reading books and anything that where which will help me to learn. As far as online learning is concerned, unfortunately or fortunately, this is one of the positives of COVID-19. Now, I can speak on behalf of Beaconhouse school system because that's where I work. And what I saw, we've always been in favor of our Chief Executive, Mr. Qasim Qasimi, would always hold these schools of tomorrow. We have it regularly, and we would always talk about, the school of the future. And we would talk about it, and we would discuss, and we would have these committees, and we would have these sessions, and we would take small steps. And then came COVID-19. And from the day the government announced closure of schools, we went absolutely immediately, we went live. It was as if we were destined to do this. We did not face any problems because we were very well prepared for online classes. And we immediately launched BSU, which is Beaconhouse Schooling Uninterrupted, and the name says it all. And that's it, and we took off. Yes, we won't say it was we were like successful right day one, because it was a big learning, a steep learning curve for all of us. We are not, or each and every staff member is not tech savvy or not digitally literate, so to speak. So, but we slept in and you've taken my favorite quote, which I call the brick school, from brick to click. So we slept overnight in a brick room, and we woke up in a digital environment. So that is what happened to all of us. And thank God, with the kind of support Beaconhouse head office team gave us, it wasn't difficult, to move on and transform our schools. Yes, we are still having our little issues, but that happens with everyone.
That's so
So
true, Miss.
this is how we.
Support and the management's control over certain things always develops a lot. I would take my university's example because, mashallah, we completed our summers, we completed our, what should I say, spring semester completely at the right time. They took this right initiative. They took the, portal initiative. because most of the students are still not done with their summers, right? In their, what should I say, the spring semesters in certain universities. And I'm so what should I say, grateful that certain people in the management who know how to build up the management and how to take the step forward. I always believe that once you learn and once you always learn in your education field, especially, that's how you move forward. And especially in the
Exactly.
management, it needs to have that control. Ma'am, talk about experience as a leader. How was it managing all this? Because it was definitely tough for all of us.
It was very tough, and because ensuring that for the parents, their expectations are very very high at all point of time. So even if it is day one of anything, they might give their children some time, they might give their family members some extra time to learn, but the
Hmm.
expectations for the school are 100% right from day one. And sometimes I say rightly so, because they want the best for their child, they don't want the child to suffer. But then again, when we are all stakeholders in this area, and each of us, we are like the legs of a stool. So each of
Hmm.
us has to support each other, otherwise we won't, it won't be a balanced tool, and the child won't have a balanced life. So when the parents, the ones who supported us, and who were waited patiently when we were having some teething issues, their children are doing very very well. But then there were some parents, where we had to really guide and counsel and mentor, because they did not have the patience. And if the net or the classroom did not work on day one and day two, they switched off, and their children did not come online. So that was something was we were very disturbed about, and it took a lot of counseling and a lot of good word from other students, that things are going happening very well. Yes, phase one was the teasing phase, but when we went into phase two, I was there all the time. We would send emails to teachers. We would communicate to the parents, and then my email and my phone was always there. They always had my number any time of the day or night. If they were facing any problem, they could call up any of the heads, any of my parent relationship officers, and me. We were there round the clock helping them out. So that is how we
I do
overcame.
agree. I do agree to the
Pardon me?
fact that ma'am, this was actually 24 hours now. School was actually 24 hours now because we were working and we were actually developing each and everything, because sometimes the link won't work. We will actually call at 6 o'clock that ma'am, what to do now? Tell me some other. Then the headmistress or the senior mistress would take control and they'll be like, yes, now you have to do this, certainly that. Totally agree that online learning is now 24-hour learning, especially for the teachers. It's like a 24-hour job. Ma'am, how was it with the students? Because especially some students took it lightly, some students took it a little hard. Everybody had their different pace. So talk about that.
Before I talk about that, I would just like to say it's not 24 hours now. It's like beyond 24 hours, because especially my teachers, they are managing home. They are expected to be functional at home, and they are expected to look after their children. Their husband needs all the attention, and sometimes the wives. And then of course we have to ensure that we have this smiley face right in front from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the classes are on. So it's not 24 hours, it's much more than that. And my absolute respect for all teachers all over the world, and especially in my school. I can't tell you how indebted we are to the kind of support they've given. As far as students were concerned, it was quite, in fact, it was easier with them. If they did not have the issues with their, they did not have resources like extra cell phones or extra tablets, or those kind of issues they faced. But once they were online, especially primary school and above, these are all digital children. They are born in a digital age, so it was easier for them to learn rather than for the teachers. So I found the students engaging more, and and I came across a French word, French meaning of the word engage, and that means to listen, to pledge. So we all pledged, we decided we had to engage the students. So we decided we would take that pledge. And then the pledge was to listen to what the students required, to listen to their problems, to listen to their issues, and ensure that we all worked together backstage, so that the next day would be much better than the today. Tomorrow would be much better than today. So that is how we, and as far as the students were concerned, they found a variety. First of
Hmm.
all the links, they had everything at the fingertips. at their fingertips. So, if they needed any links, they could just Google or find support. They could speak to their friends, online collaboration. Then there was face-to-face classes where they, spoke to their teachers. And then if they missed out any lesson, the best part was that these lessons were all recorded so that they could go back and listen to it again. So that way it was very helpful. It wasn't that I bunked a class or I missed a class and that's it. So they could always go back and listen to the recording. Many children were suffering, their families were suffering from COVID, and they had a lot of issues at home. So these kind of recorded lessons and asynchronous lessons that we were uploading all the time, that really helped a lot. So they did not feel left out at any point of time.
That's
So
so true,
that was
ma'am.
something.
Talking about your engagement and talking about students, I have a set of students with me right now at that stage as well. So I would welcome Sumaya Shoaib. She is studying at Beaconhouse, as what should I say, in the defense campus as well, middle school. She's in 8D, and her interests are such as, she loves playing the guitar. She's been playing it for 3 years. She does animation. She's very passionate about digital art, editing, and filmmaking. So, she loves traditional art. She loves singing, writing. She's competed in BISC Idol Intra Cluster competition. She's passionate about debating, speeches, public speaking in general, and she has been president of the Environment Club. So I love your profile, by the way, Sumaya. I have to say that. And
And we are very proud
second,
of her.
yeah,
Thank you so
second I
much.
have. Thank second, I have Zainab Rashid with me, or Rashid. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, Zainab. Zainab Rashid, she's in 8B in Defense Campus, Beaconhouse as well. She was in 2009. She was awarded the Sindh Youth Icon Award by Kashmir Youth Leadership Foundation as a child champion for Idare Taleem-o Aghahi (ITA) Child Domestic Violence Campaign. She has written a book as well, which consists of 21 poems. Its name is My Pen Scribbles. She was acknowledged by several organizations. I just named some of them because it's a huge list. It's like Imdad Foundation, Children Literature Festival, CLF, Cultural Development of Sindh Government, Child Rights NGO, Kavish Media Center, and Community Development Foundation, CDF. Zainab, I see an activist in you, a social worker about to become. Is that true?
Yeah, that's actually true. I do have ambitions for social activism, especially motivating the youth because that's my main focus. That's always been the main focus. And ever
That's
since
amazing.
I was given the Sindh Youth Icon Award by the Kashmir Youth Leadership, that's what really motivated me that I had the responsibility to become a Gen Z role model.
So that's very nice. I really appreciate that. Okay, the third student I have with me is Aiza Fatma. Aiza is a part of the swim team going to Lahore for national swimming competitions. She has been an ambassador of global dignity and participated in other school projects for good causes. Um, I think Aiza has a little problem with her camera, so I'll move towards Sumaya. Sumaya, tell me, how was this whole online learning experience for you?
It was definitely difficult in the beginning, considering I was very new, and there were a lot of confusions. People didn't know how to work things, but we got the hang of it. And once we did get used to it, and this might sound funny, but I would look forward to my Google Meet sessions. I would look forward to my assignments because with Brick School, you have this routine you're following every single day, and it gets tiring at one point. With e-learning, it was like a breath of fresh air. It was finally a change that we were all looking for. So it had its pros and cons 100%, but for me, overall, it was a great experience, and I was very grateful to have lived that.
That's very sweet. I like your enthusiasm and I love the optimism in you. Zainab, you tell me, how was it? How was your experience with all of that?
My experience was definitely very nice because as a teenager, I'm going to admit that I first thought that quarantine would mean that I'll be sleeping at 3 a.m., waking up at 3 p.m. But I am so glad that our school was, our school established Beacon House schooling uninterrupted in a very quick and prompt way, even when the whole world thought it wouldn't be possible. And Beacon House was also one of the first schools in Pakistan to establish online schooling as the pandemic arose. So my experience was definitely very nice. I feel like it did encourage PBL, project-based learning, in our school. We were given projects, and the fact that we were able to continue our academic progress at such a time, and that our teachers were always there to support us. It's really nice to know that. And personally, I think that our school gave us every resource, everything to continue our academic progress. So I think it was very nice.
Uh, I hope Isa is over here with us, and I hope she is back with her camera because um, I cannot see her. Meanwhile, I talk about online learning. Sumaya, you tell me how difficult it was to wake up in the morning for an online class. To be very honest with me, just tell me the truth, okay?
All right, to be very honest, I mean, we were used to waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So we were happy that at this point, at least we took a step up and now we would wake up at 10. So it did take a while to establish it. So we were living in quarantine with no school. And so we would wake up at like 12 in the morning. So there was a change in that, waking up 2 hours earlier. But I don't think 2 hours was really difficult.
That's so true. I believe, Ms. Shrini, if we talk about it, the whole idea of bringing schools back and from brick to click school, it helped in students' regular timetable in actually getting them back on their timetable. How much do you agree to that? She's muted. Miss Wait, you're muted. Just wait. Yeah.
Another one of the problems of online sessions. So I won't agree completely that it was an easy job to wake up the teenagers, because if they had their way, they would be sleeping and wake up at their sweet time. And then there were some diligent and very conscientious students like the ones you have here who would make it a point to get up on time. But then once, it's all about engagement. So once they got engaged and they knew they were, there was good thing happening over there. And the main thing that the teachers kept on telling them that, it's a long period. And when you look around yourself, you see so many, I won't say thousands, in fact, more than that, thousands and thousands of students who have not gone to school since March because they did not have this opportunity. So even if their learning was not going on exactly as it would have been in a brick school in a classroom, but they were still engaged, their learning was continuing, and whatever lapses there are, we will cover it up, inshallah, when we get back to school. But at least the complete break from school was not there. So these students were there. And then, of course, our curriculum that we designed for e-learning, that the head office team has been working on, it covers everything. So they have art, they have physical activity going on. So their PE classes are also online. The junior students had their music creativity lessons going on. So they were learning how to play the keyboard or the guitar, and they were singing along with the music teacher. And similarly, their art classes were going on. Then there had PSHE, which taught them a lot. We have a subject called PSHE, which teaches them about emotions, about their health, about their personal life. So how to behave, how to face difficulties, if they are feeling frustrated, if they're feeling angry. So these were taught in different lessons, so all that helped. So it was a complete holistic curriculum that they got online. So while they were still sitting at home, they did not miss out on anything. Yes, they may have missed out on the hugs and the cuddles and then the whispering in their friends' ears, but the learning went on. So that was something I was really happy about.
I totally
Yes.
agree to that. Especially, I like the fact that how your Ma'am Shruti, can you mute your mic?
Pardon?
Can you just mute because my voice is yeah. As I was saying that I totally agree to the part when we say that how when we are learning online, it's a whole new challenge and it's a whole new different aura. Samaya, tell me about your lessons and how they were, what you interacted with, and how it went by.
All right, so of course there were cons considering that sometimes the links wouldn't work. So we were given links for our Google Meet sessions, the ones that were face to face, and then we would get the teachers would share videos and different resources that they found for an introduction to the topics. So after joining class, there was kids that did not have electricity at their house or weak Wi-Fi, so that was a factor. But then looking at the other side, we could have screen sharing. The teachers could share their screen, sharing information. We had screen recording. We could look back at sessions, or like I mentioned before, some kids didn't have access to it, so they could access the sessions later. Then similarly, we had Padlet and Kahoot. These were two softwares that we used. Padlet was a way to collaboratively work as a class. So how it worked was the teacher would post a question, she would share the link of the question with us, and then each of the students in the class would contribute to that wall by writing their answers in the form of a comment. Once the teacher approves that comment will be visible to everyone. So it's a great way because the teacher can ask one question and she will get 20 completely different answers all laid out in front of her. And we can edit each other's comments as well. So if I see that my friend has made a mistake, I can edit his comment and vice versa. Secondly, we used Kahoot, which was a website where, especially before the roundup tasks, sort of as a wrap-up activity, there were quizzes regarding our syllabus. So there was very healthy competition there. I remember when I would not get first place, I would be really sad. But the point being that there was a lot of competition, and it made learning fun. You don't really expect something like this, something so new, to be fun, but it honestly was once we got the hang of it.
I totally agree to this. I love the fact that you guys were so engaged in it, because when it's a big what should I say, remarkable reward for your teachers, especially that when you guys come and talk about that how engaging it was. So kudos to those teachers. Zainab, if Zainab is over here, Zainab, you tell me how was all these apps and all this learning with you.
Miss, I personally believe that it was a very great idea that our teachers integrated Padlet, Kahoot, and all these things. But one thing that I'd like to mention is that before the pandemic, we always had Edmodo. So on Edmodo, our teachers post assignments where we get homework and all those things. So we have been doing that. But other than that, Padlet is like a website where all of us we join one like a server, an online server, and we start working, and then our teachers can give us live corrections from there while we're also attending our Google Classroom. And then Kahoot is like just like Sumaya said, it's like an add up, it's sums all of the topics and then we start doing it. So I think that with BSU giving us Google Classroom resources, we also had all other other websites so that we could integrate with our peers. And something that this I mentioned before, it did integrate PBL again, because project-based learning is all about teamwork and integrating technology. So I think that this was a very great opportunity for all of us students to experience PBL.
That's so true. Ms. Shiri, unmute yourself and talk about how do you think I can see the four C's of learning over here, to be honest. I can see collaboration, I can see communication, I can see, critical thinking. So what do you have to say about this? Because I can totally see this difference now.
Okay, one thing that it's not only about collaboration taking place inside the class, inside within a classroom like a class 9 or a class 10. Beaconhouse also had their online global projects. So students from one country or one city were competing against, or were collaborating with students from another country or another city, and then they were creating projects, and then that was put up, and polling was done. So it was a collaboration at another level. So that is why it's part of our curriculum. We keep having these projects where students are collaborating within the school as well as with students from other branches. The second thing we talked about was our curriculum. Like we said, we have a Beaconhouse learner profile, and we the entire curriculum, we have planned it out in such a way that there are these certain attributes are fulfilled, are met. So when a student steps out of Beaconhouse, he will have these certain attributes. Now those attributes matched, the online learning helped those attributes. So we had some things like I'll just give you a few examples of these attributes. We had okay, just let me get that. It's like digitally literate, being empathetic, being globally competent, talking about looking after your health and hygiene. These are things that are part of our curriculum. So even our lessons were designed, and because the situation was such where these children were faced with a terrible situation like COVID, where they had to stay at home, locked down. So how to help these students help others in their homes? So creating awareness about COVID, making sure there are sometimes adults don't listen, and we need the help of these children to ensure that their parents don't step out and bring back the then there were students who were whose parents were all doctors, how they handle. So then the collaboration took place where these students would support each other, and help out. So there was a lot of collaboration going on. And then creativity in online classes, the sky is not the limit. So you give them a single red dot and you ask them to draw something, make something out of a red dot, and you'll find 2 million ideas coming up. So it was remarkable the way these students were there. But yes, it's we have miles to go before we sleep. So each day is a learning. We learn new things, and to ensure that the best interest of the students are met. Yes,
I
so
so
I
agree. I
think
so agree to that.
still
I
tomorrow.
would ask. I would ask this question, especially from the girls. Aiza, if she's here, and Zainab and Samaya. So, girls, tell me. I know online learning was fun, and I know online learning was difficult as well. But what was that mazika moment? That was that funny incident that happened, and you were like, "Miss, this was funny, and I enjoyed it." So starting with Samaya.
Well, miss, this happened so many times at this point I've lost count. But you would occasionally have children that would lie about their camera not working, and they'll be like, "Miss, I can't turn my camera on today, it's not working." And then in the middle of the session, now obviously if you're gonna lie your camera's not working, you'll be sitting on the couch, your hair all messed up, probably eating something. So accidentally their camera opens, and all we see is them just lying on the couch, and their reaction to that, because they're so embarrassed, they don't know what to do, and they're just so shook. And that was really funny. And of course people lie about their mics not working as well. So there was this one time where someone lied about their mic not working. They accidentally clicked on the mic, and all we heard were movies and songs because they were watching that on the other tab.
Oh my God, that's so true. That's so true. I totally see that as well. Zainab, you tell me, how was, share a funny moment with me.
Yes, so well, obviously we all have a lot of funny moments every day, and just like Sumaya said, I have definitely lost count. But this one time, I just wasn't feeling like opening my camera, so I I told my teacher that my camera isn't working, and then suddenly, out of nowhere, I don't even know what happened. I accidentally clicked the camera button, and my camera opened, and my hair was all messed up. I was looking hideous, definitely, and the whole class saw me. And then after that, they're all like, "Miss, her cam, she did have her camera. She was just lying." I just felt very embarrassed. It's
Um,
something early in the morning. You really don't feel like opening your cameras, and then our teachers would request us, and we would have to open it. But it's just that in the morning we're all in a state where we have no idea what's happening. So yeah, that was one thing that happened.
that's so cute. That's so cute. Okay, girls, talking about a serious topic right now. We all know digital citizenship is the new go. We all know that we need to know our etiquettes. So, certain, obviously, in your school as well, you must have been given certain, uh, lessons about it, certain conversations about it. So, Sumaya, tell me about that. What is digital citizenship and how do we take it?
So we know that digitalization is a huge part of our lives today. So to me, digital citizenship is basically the role that you play online. So being a good digital citizen means that you protect all of your private information, because nowadays, especially because we progress so much, it's so easy to take someone's information and you won't even know that they have it. So protecting every single information, even if you think it won't go anywhere, it might. Secondly,
Mm.
respecting everyone, respecting your society, making sure that what you say is positive, making sure that what you say is necessary, and that you want to put yourself in the other person's shoes and see how what you're saying may affect them. And then, of
Mm.
course, you also, if you ever get bullied or if you ever have a bad experience with it, you want to always save proof of it so that in the future
Mm.
you can use that. You don't want to fight back. If someone's bullying me online, it's not like I should start taking my revenge on them. Instead, I should take that proof and then consult an adult or someone.
That's so true. Zainab, your point of view on etiquettes. What do you see in etiquettes as if Zainab is here?
Yeah, I feel the same way that Sumaya said because during the time of our online classes, I feel like it did teach us some of the etiquettes. I mean, we learned when somebody is speaking, we're not supposed to open our mics and talk in front of them and all those things. And just besides that, I feel like it promoted digital citizenship. It promoted the fact that technology and information can be used to engage the schools in collaborative activities. So yeah, that's
That's so true. That's so true. Keeping etiquettes in mind, Machine, what do you say about it? How much important it is in now world that the students should know, students should learn, and they should adapt with the technology.
देखिए, for me, values are everything. And whether it is online or offline, there is absolutely no compromise on values and no compromise on respect. Respect for yourself, respect for your friends, respect for your parents, respect for your teachers. So it's the, I think it's for me, it is the most important thing that we need to learn. And when it comes to online thing, it becomes a little more um, far more important than it would, because there is a screen in between you and the person across. So like we said, why we started insisting that cameras be switched on. You need to own what you're saying. You need to be, show your face. You don't need to be scared. And similarly, you can even find out about the bullies in your group if you can see their faces, because anyone can hide behind an emoticon or something like that, an avatar, and say whatever they feel like, and then they say, miss, it was my brother or it was a friend who took over. But that is the reason why we insisted on, and then in Beaconhouse, we have another layer, that is they can only enter the classrooms using their unique Beaconite ID. So they cannot use another Gmail ID. So we have put layers of protection, all because we need to ensure that the students are protected, the teachers are protected, and outsiders don't log in and harm our group of children. So this is how important it is. And we have child protection policies in place in our school. So we have these committees all over, and their pictures are placed all over in all the softboards. So any student, if they feel that they are being disturbed or bullied or harassed, they can just contact one of the child protection policy committee members and go and speak to them. It may not be their class teacher, it may not be, it may be someone totally from a different level. So we have these securities in place. And similarly, netiquettes, we keep on training them in each and every PSHE class, right from the junior level right up to the senior level. We keep on telling them how important it is, to ensure their own safety as well as the safety of their students. So it's a very crucial part of our curriculum.
That's so true. Miss Shri, can you mute? I would, the girls, we talked about digital citizenship. We talked about how your school took a step forward, how it developed I can see, weekend nights in you all, because you guys are shining and you guys are speaking so well, mashallah. Um, how was, this whole experience? So what do you say? Is it brick school or is it trick school? Where would you go with? Sumaya.
Well, it's a very opinionated question, and it would probably require a lot of thinking. But on one side, we have Click School, and it has several advantages, and it might seem more fun, but we've only been doing it for 2 months, and we've been doing Brick School for like as long as we can remember. So I think right now, Click School may seem more fun, and we look at all the fun aspects. But if we do it for as long as we've been doing Brick School, we'll eventually get tired of it. And of course, with Brick School, you have your friends, you have your teachers, and I don't think that connection can be established through Click School.
That's so true. Zainab, what is your point of view on brick school or click school?
If I'm being very honest, I would prefer break school because for the first few months, I actually thought that it would be, online schooling is better because I am a huge introvert. I like staying on my own. I don't like social interaction a lot. But this definitely taught me the importance of physical schooling, because over there I feel like we understand the concepts much better. I think that's something that all of us can agree on. And besides that, it just kind of taught me the importance of social interaction as well, because I personally miss seeing Miss Shireen every morning on the door, and seeing my teachers, seeing my friends. I miss everything at this point. So, and just the fact that we're away from each other, from the people that we were destined to be for the whole year, it's kind of sad. But personally, I do prefer big school.
That's so sweet. I love the way ideas are, coming out and how they're speaking about how much they miss it. Even I feel the warmth in it. But Shiri, you may take the lead now. Brick school or fixed school?
First of all, I would love to have a brick school with a click, a rooftop maybe, or a click, one of the walls could be a click wall. But, unfortunately, I also feel for so many of our students who don't belong to our organization, who don't belong to these, private schools. There are so many students who've not had the opportunity to receive all this advantage. I hope my students like Zainab and Sumaya, and there's so many others who are in school, they will step out and they will ensure that ultimately one day they will create click schools for everyone. So that is my dream. I hope I'm alive to see it. But inshallah, with Sumaya and Zainab and people like them around, they will definitely ensure click schools for everyone. But yes, brick schools can never replace the hugs of the teachers, that one stare from me. I miss these guys so much. Entire day, I would be physically fit running after them. And now I can't even do that. So, climbing 5 stairs and going from one block to the other. But I hope we get back to school and we have a hybrid, which we have already planned for. So it will have to be best of the both worlds, and ensure that uh, every parent wants the best for their child. So similarly, every teacher wants the best. So if they can take some parts from a brick school and some values from some good stuff from the click part of it, and create a hybrid school, nothing like it. So this is something that we're all dreaming for, and inshallah, it will take place not only for Beaconhouse students but for every student in Pakistan. Inshallah,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
inshallah. That's a very optimistic approach, and that's a very sweet approach as well. Samaya, your last words. How was your live session? How was this whole opportunity? Did you like it? Would you want to have more of these conversations?
It was a fantastic live session. I think what you're doing is great, considering that these conversations need to be had. And like right now, we might not think this will make a difference, but it will eventually. And I have immense faith in this sort of platform, and I would love to come again. Thank you so much for having me. It was surely a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Somaya, what about you, Zainab? How is the activist in you ready to, you know, make the change after this?
Something that I want to tell is that even though the pandemic has stopped us from going outside, one thing that I'm very grateful is that ITA, the organization that I'm working with, we have planned a child domestic violence campaign after seeing what happened with Zora Shah. So the fact that I am still at home, I am still conveying my message to the youth, and I just feel very privileged to have that. But the biggest supports are definitely my school, my parents, everyone. They're all always there to support me. So yeah.
That's so true. That's a very beautiful thing, Zainab, and I would definitely call you again for one of your ITA sessions because child protection, I believe, is the biggest thing and the biggest lag in our system, and we are failing at a different level in this, and we have to step up. Each school has to step up. Ms. Sheeny, what about you? How was your experience?
I told you I follow you, Sundas. I love your energy and I love the way you keep smiling and you make everyone comfortable. So it was extremely I really enjoyed the session, and being with my students. There's nothing better for me than being with my students. So this was something that I really enjoyed. Just one few lines I would dedicate to all my teachers who have been working so hard throughout. uh, I'm a teacher. I facilitate thinking. I engage minds. I listen to questions. I encourage risk. I support struggle. I cultivate dreams. I learn every day. I teach. And there's something that I added in the end, I need to be respected. So hats off to all my teachers, and keep doing what the good stuff that you do. And Sundas, keep highlighting all teachers and all students. This is something that only you can do well.
Thank you so much, Miss. That's a huge honor for me, and I really appreciate. That was beautiful, by the way. Thank you so much. As a teacher, definitely, kids, we need to all understand that now you guys are going forward. You guys are going to be the new generation. Learn from your mistakes. Keep respect as an element. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate and. Beaconhouse is doing a great job with you all. I can see you, shining bright and going forward, and excellent profiles are building up as a student as well. So, congratulations and thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. This was the Beaconhouse Schooling Systems headmistress, head with us, and she is in the middle school as well. The reason why I brought students in was to make you all understand that how much important the students are for us educationists. For people who are in school, students are the core value. If we don't build on them, if we don't make them confident enough to come up and speak on different platforms, then it's no use of giving education and no use of building up on different curriculums if your student cannot come out and talk about certain things. I would appreciate if more schools want to talk about and they want to bring their school, or should I say students forward. They're more than welcome to do that. Leaving you all with this word that teaching is that one profession that builds up all the other professions. So I salute all the teachers out there. Thank you so much for your time. For my Greenwich University teachers as well, thank you so much for giving me such good opportunities. Thank you, Greenwich University, for helping us building a good platform. And Pakistan Zindabad. Allah Hafiz, everyone.